July 22nd, 2025 Board of Commissioners meeting to order. At this time, we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance and then the invocation led by Commissioner Corey Kennedy.
Heavenly Father, we ask you tonight to please be with us, help guide us to make wise decisions for our county. We ask that everyone who's come to tonight's meeting have a safe journey home. We also pray for the safety of our first responders currently fighting a fire over at the old Michener plant. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Commissioner Baer.
Present.
Commissioner Walls.
Here.
Commissioner Kennedy.
Here.
Commissioner Duckham.
Here.
Commissioner Pileski.
Here.
Commissioner Willis. Commissioner Williams.
Present.
Commissioner Snell. Here. Chairman Shotwell.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Support.
We have a motion and support. Any additions? Hearing none. All in favor of the agenda as presented?
Aye.
Those opposed? Duly carried. We have no awards and recognition. Is there any communications or petitions to come to the clerk? Seeing none. Special order and public hearings, Accelerate Jackson at CGDBG grant public hearing.
Now it's on. There we go. Green light, go. Good evening. I'm Debbie Kelly. I'm the Vice President of Accelerate Jackson County, which is the economic development organization serving all of Jackson County. And on behalf of Jackson County, I serve as the liaison for the county for the project that we're about to discuss this evening. And the purpose of tonight's public hearing is to hear from our community and gather input as it relates to the proposed Community Development Block Grant, or CDBG, housing rehabilitation grant that we would like to submit on behalf of Jackson County on or before the deadline, which is September 17th. So how did this project come about? After visiting several communities across the state of Michigan, Mr. Sam Ramsey, the founder of Profitable Affordable Housing Development LLC, reached out to Jackson County leadership, which then led him to us at Accelerate Jackson County, for an opportunity to apply to MSHDA for a CDBG homeowner rehabilitation program to help with necessary owner-occupied housing improvements for income-qualified homeowners. So we knew of no one in Jackson County that were applying for this round of grant funds, and we did not want the community to miss out on an opportunity to help improve a handful of homes, as we know of several homes that could likely qualify for this program. We are aware that Community Action Agency participates with this type of grant funding as well, and we've been in conversations with them for their support. So in an effort to reserve these funds for Jackson County, we had a very short turnaround to provide MSHDA with a letter of intent that was due on April 17th. The $400,000 amount is the maximum grant request that did not require a local match from the county. And keep in mind that the city of Jackson is an entitlement community, so they are not eligible for this program. So this is a program through MSHDA's Michigan Neighborhood Program, and the purpose of this funding is to provide eligible, income-qualified homeowners an opportunity to seek grant funding for their necessary rehabilitation assistance needs for their home, such as if they need a new roof, a new furnace, any type of energy efficiency rehab that's needed, just to give you an example. So the grant requests can be for up to $40,000, but one caveat to this funding is that any grant awarded over $10,000 results in a 5-year lien placed on the home. The grantees will be determined by a committee spearheaded by Accelerate Jackson County, who will review and prioritize the need and determine the eligibility of each applicant or homeowner. The same committee process will be followed for the RFP processes that will be covered by the administration fees of this grant. And those admin fees, which are 18% or $72,000, are earmarked for the cost of the environmental review and the officer that will be conducting the review, which likely we'd like to work with Toby Berry at Community Action Agency so she can fill that position through the RFP process. We have to have a chief inspector, and it's for any related fees associated with the RFP processes for the roles that I'm mentioning this evening. It's for legal fees, admin fees incurred by Accelerate Jackson County. And finally, it's for the role of the CDBG grant administrator, which also requires us to undergo an RFP process. So why is Accelerate Jackson County working on a housing project? The livability within a community, more specifically housing, is most certainly linked to economic development. It's one of the largest issues that our industry as an economic development organization has been working through over the last several years. And it's also one of the most common things that we hear during our retention visits. When we ask about, ask about the community and what issues they have, they always seem to say it's a lack of housing, both for their workforce and even at the executive level. There's an aging home inventory in Jackson County, and it affects us with the businesses that are already here that bring it to our attention, as well as the businesses we are seeking to attract when they look at Jackson County to see what's on the market and available for their employees. And it also affects us when you drive through the community and see the blighted homes that really could use some improvements or much needed attention. And this program seemed like a great opportunity to try and help out with that. So thank you for your time. And now I would like to introduce Mr. Sam Ramsey, who we've been working with thus far. And he's going to speak about the program and more specifically this project. Unless there's any questions that I can answer at this time. Absolutely, thank you.
Hello. All right. Hello, my name is Sam Ramsey. I'm the founder of Paid LLC. For the last 6 months, I've been studying, reviewing, hopping on numerous Zoom calls with Tanya, the My Neighborhood Program Administrator for the state of Michigan, Chris Lucier, the CBG Program Administrator for the entire state of Michigan, as well as reaching out and contacting over 30 dozen local governments and county communities as well. During this time, I was able to spread a lot of awareness about the CBG program throughout the state, as well as I was able to provide MISTA a lot of feedback that resulted in MISTA changing its grant program on March 17th. Currently, I have been assisting Jackson County and Accelerate Jackson on applying as well as the letter of intent and completing this grant. My current other projects right now includes a $5 million development in Alpena, Michigan, with MISTA funded funds. In partnership with Genesee County, DDEHC, and Uptown Development, I've been working in the city of Flint for the row houses, which includes 37 townhomes being currently under development. The purpose of this grant is not only to help homeowners with their repairs, but it's also to help homes last for over 125 years. There are homes built all around this county in the 1910s that would not be here or exist had they not had the proper maintenance. This helps the county in a lot of ways by preventing a lot of blight and teardowns, which are additional costs to the county in the future. This grant will have a positive impact on the neighborhoods for numerous decades to come. Thank you.
Commissioner Duckham?
Good evening, Sam. I'd like to ask you how you got into this line of work. Do you have experience in grant administration or a degree, or how did you arrive here?
Okay. Essentially, last year, Mr. started this My Neighborhood program in April. I was already currently working for a company called DDEHC, where, as I previously mentioned in other committee meeting, that I was more of a junior partner working on projects over $10 million. And due to my success and help with my analyzation, my organization of projects, it was at that time that the company felt I should have my own company and do my own projects. So for the last year, that my company, Paid LLC, has solely existed for the purpose of serving the My Neighborhood programs on the housing community development side, where I have a project in Alpena, as well as the CBG side.
Yeah, we have a bad mic up there.
Actually, Mr. Ramsey, if you get about 6 inches from that mic, you'll be better. Just project your voice.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, did you interview for this position?
No, I haven't. As they mentioned, I have to do our RFP process to be selected for the CBGA program administrator.
Okay, I Googled your name and I came up with a number of business it says you were associated with, or there's another Sam Ramsey out there, which I could be, I guess. But have you been in the record producing and music production business?
Yes, I started that journey essentially 19 when I was in college, essentially to help other people. I felt at that time that there's too many people in the music industry trying to go into being a creative side, being artists and record producers, and not enough people trying to manage the business side. I had small success where I eventually ended up working with a small record label out in Detroit called Keep It 100.
Okay, and a multi-industry expert.
I say that only to say I have a diverse background in numerous things. As I was able to, within college, people gave me a lot of opportunities to a college students to essentially try to grow and develop.
Personally, is that what you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. How about a money management investor?
You said money management investor?
Yes. Like you would invest people's money for them, retirees and such.
No,
Might be a different Sam Ramsey there.
no.
Also, I read someplace where you were trying to bring part of the NASA program to the Upper Peninsula.
Yes, like many other firms in the real estate industry, a lot of us was looking at the Upper Peninsula as another facility to do more space launching. So DDEHC tasked me with doing more analysis and seeing how feasible the project was. So I reached out to multiple different industry people on their input and developed that and submitted that to DDEHC.
Okay, so through your jobs in the last few years, do you feel you have qualifications to manage a project like this?
Yes.
So that's your only background, is being a junior partner in a couple businesses? And okay, can you provide the board with a list of previous employers, or have you always been self-employed?
I worked at several other places. Like I worked at Buffalo Wild Wings. I worked for an insurance company, Stop On Insurance, who the owner was a family friend, as well as trying to do also my self-employment as well.
Okay. Do any of these business, have you filed tax reports in the, as for the business?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Okay, I'm concerned about, when I hire people, my business, I watch for job jumpers, and I don't want to hire somebody and train them to work and then have them leave and jump to another job. And you've worn a lot of hats, and that kind of concerns me. All right, thank you.
Any in the audience? You can step away, Mr. Ramsey, if you'd like to. They can speak. Oh, I'm sorry, Tony. Go ahead, sir.
Makes no difference to me.
Your choice.
Okay, I got a series of questions. The Community Development Block Grant Liaison for Jackson County has pre-selected profitable, affordable housing develop. It's on. Closer, thank you. All right, I'll start over. The Community Development Block Grant Liaison, representing Jackson County, has, it appears, pre-chosen profitable, affordable housing development to handle this project. Through this letter, we're going to put out RFPs to hire a program manager, environmental review, some others. So why was a RFP not published by the Community Development Block Grant Liaison to select a contractor, and on what basis did our liaison select this one company? I would like her to.
If I could help, can I help address that, Tony? Keith Gillenwater, Accelerate Jackson County. So we have, when we were approached by Mr. Ramsey with this grant opportunity, we thought it would be a good opportunity for Jackson County to be able to bring some funds to the community that would help those who are less fortunate, right? We have not selected PAHD or Mr. Ramsey as our grant administrator yet. We have to go through an RFP process for that. We have to do that sometime before the submission of the application in September. We have not done that process yet. We have been working with Mr. Ramsey because he's the one that brought the opportunity for us, but there still has to be a process for us to go through to select who our grant administrator is, much like with their environmental or with the environmental review and that kind of thing.
Okay, everything in the memo that was submitted, everything leads to PAHD having been selected. So you're telling me that selection has not happened?
Yes, that's correct. According to Chris Lucier, the program administrator for the state of Michigan, we have to go through.
A couple more inches in there, I'll be able to hear you better.
Yep. According to Chris Lucier, the CBG administrator for the entire state of Michigan, every county or whoever has selected, who has applied for these funds, all has to go through a RFP process for third-party administrators.
Okay. This would be a public-private partnership between some company that the county will select and the county, because the county will be responsible for hiring a program administrator, environmental review officer, chief inspector, county liaison, according to this memo. And another concern I have is PAHD's experience and availability. If you have a grant application in for 20 units in Alpena, and if you win that project, how would you have time to do both? And I asked the question about why did you present this to us, or why did you come to the county administrator one day before the application deadline? And I was given the explanation, well, you're a busy man, you are in other states, and that's cool. But again, my question of availability. And when I questioned further, why so late, I found out that the application that was made to the, I got it here just a second. Let me bring this up so I make sure I speak properly. The application made to Michigan State Housing Development Authority, applicant name Jackson County, 400,000. Most of this application is blank. This is an application that the county is responsible for filling in, and the county is responsible for fulfilling these requirements. So the application submitted to the state is signed by Debbie Kelly. So my question, if somebody can answer me throughout this meeting, who gave Debbie Kelly the authority to put in this application on behalf of Jackson County? Because the application, the applicant name, Jackson County, the applicant signature, Debbie Kelly. So ultimately, the county has to fill in this application. The county is responsible for it. And when I compared that with the statement that you and, let's see, that the PAHD and the Community Action Agency, sorry, wrong paragraph. You only met 2 days before this was due. But then I find out that the letter from the Michigan State Housing Development Authority, authored by Chris Lausier to Debbie Kelly, this was submitted to the state April 17. And Ms. Kelly said that you and her collaborated on the writing of this back in April 2017. So if you knew about it, were involved in the preparation of this back in April, why does it say you only got connected with them recently? Your connection with them is 3-4 months old.
Yes. So as I stated before, the state of Michigan changed this entire program March 17th. So before this, in April of last year, the state opened up $30 million of CBG funding on the community block development side, as well as $30 million on the housing community development side. The housing community development side funds was extinguished by last July. And then following again in October, the funds replenished. And by February of this year, they had about, of the $60 million that they had at the time, they only had about roughly $4 million allocated throughout the entire state of Michigan, which prompted the state of Michigan to change their application process in March. So the application process of this whole entire process, just as I said, is just a couple months old as well. And then in addition to at least my availability right now, when it comes to housing development, real estate development, I have what they say is stages. I have stages of planning, I have stages of pre-development, which is where I'm at right now with my architectural engineering team, and then I have my stage of building, which is handled directly by my general contractor, who's overseeing the subcontractors of everybody that's involved in building that project. So really, it's more or less managing that. As I say, it's a $4 million project. Mainly just making sure I manage my contractor, my general contractor as well. And I have additional funds that MISA requires of at least a 10% contingency order. That's also, you'll see in the grant, is also required. and housing
doesn't
in the
completely-
CDG funds.
Let me chime in if I may.
As long as I can finish my questions when he's done. Sure. Thank you.
The answer to part of the question that you had asked was, who authorized it? I authorized it. A letter, it was a, what did you call it? A letter of intent.
Yes.
That they'd asked me for, are we willing to go ahead and apply for $400,000, no cost to the county? I said, yes, we are. But that's no guarantee you'll get get the grant or anything like that, but you have to tell them at least you're interested. And we did that. I did that.
What was the date of that where you,
I do not know the date. Maybe you guys know the date, but it was a phone call. It wasn't
That's correct.
anything more than a phone call.
We submitted it on April 17th, the letter of intent, in hopes to have this funding reserved for Jackson County. We met Sam, I believe, on April 15th, is when we finally were connected with Sam through the county leadership. So we submitted the LOI. We were invited, I think, the date of the letter, I think, was May 19th-ish, where MSHA says, okay, we thank you for submitting your letter of intent. We'd like to invite you to submit a full application. It's due September 17th. So trying to get the I's dotted, T's crossed on filling out just the general information, which is basically the total, the 400,000. What we wanted to do was housing rehab. We submitted that. Then we had to sign, I had to sign that form, which I believe I signed it on July 1st. So then we have to figure out when the county schedule is, the deadlines, when general government meets. So we had to follow kind of the schedule for presenting it to you all for the committee, and then for this evening to schedule the public hearing. We also have to, publish, at least 5 days ahead of time in a local newspaper, which we've done for this evening for the public hearing, to notify the community so they can come and address their concerns, get questions answered, add their input, so we can submit that with the application. So the timing, I hope that clarifies the question, Commissioner Bear, for the timing.
well, part of my question is simple. In the memo that you sent to us, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th paragraph down, sentence about halfway through that. Unfortunately, by the time we aligned, we being PAHD and
Accelerate Jackson County.
Grant, by the time you two aligned, there was only 1 day left to apply. Well, that's not quite true. You were aligned back in April.
Keith and I met with Mr. Ramsey. At the earliest, it was April 15th, and this was due April 17th.
Okay. I'm just seeing some contradictions in the letter. I'll move on.
I
to my
apologize
next
for that.
question. The grant proposal has not been finalized,
That is correct. We're just beginning that process.
and that will be drafted by the county, because the county's responsible for it.
That will be drafted by Accelerate Jackson County with the assistance of Mr. Ramsey, because he's offered his assistance, even though he's not officially the grant administrator, because we have to go through that RFP process first.
If we have to go through the RFP process to select an administrator, why is somebody who has not gone through that process locked into this grant application?
Because he wants the opportunity.
Because he was what?
He wants the opportunity to help Jackson County. Do you want to
Well,
address that?
there could be a dozen other people that want that opportunity.
Yes. Well, in addition to all these things as well, the county, if you ever read the actual manual, the manual of the CBG program is about 300 pages. And you have to make sure you comply with all federal and state regulations within the application. And as I told you guys, I've been spending months on these things and been sticking up with all the changes from February, March, April till up to now with all this grant program. And as I told you, this program just changed March 17th. All these rules came out March 17th. So I had to spend a lot of times, even 5 a.m. mornings, make sure I properly reviewed the CBG manual and met with Tanya and Chris Lucier to make sure that my questions and the answers that I'm providing on behalf of Jackson County is correct, and is also correct with the program rules and regulations as well.
Well, before we finalize our plan and our application, I think we should do that plan and that filing with somebody that has gone through the RFP process and has been selected. If we've got one developer developing this plan and this application, they can write the plan and the application so it looks most favorable for them. I've written these things before. I know how to write them so I look good compared to the competition. And I don't think we should do that. We should first go through the RFP, select the developer, and then the county, in conjunction with the selected developer, should submit the application and the plan. And part of this plan that needs to be developed yet, I would like to see, how are you going to present this to the community? How many township meetings are you going to attend? Because this can't be spent in the city. This has to be sent out in the townships. So how many township meetings is planned to sit down with them and explain this? And
Going back a couple of questions, I would like to add that Mr. Ramsey's has been the only one that has an interest in helping us at this point.
How
Up
do you know
until
that?
now,
How do you know
we
that?
haven't gone through the RFP process, so there might be others that we're unsure of. And we actually are just in the beginning stages of this grant application, so we haven't determined what our process is going to be to market this to our townships and to our villages. We're working closely with CAA, like we mentioned, because they have a direct kind of line with the lower income folks, and they're going to be very helpful for us marketing this program. Commissioner, or
all right.
Let me try to simplify this. What I understand is you needed a permission to apply for the money.
Correct.
I granted that. Mr. Ramsey here is working for free. He's volunteered. He's the only person who brought it to our attention, because otherwise we would not have applied. We would not have
Correct.
sent a letter of intent. The 400,000 would go to some other county. Simple as that.
right,
And biggest part of that is the grant doesn't generate enough money to really pay for someone to do the job internally in a county. 20 years ago, we used to have a similar program. And this is not a new program for us. It's just one that we haven't done in so long because there isn't enough money in the grant to pay for someone to administer it. So Mr. Ramsey saw an opportunity, learned the rules, and brought it to the attention of, Deb and them. She called me, can we get a letter of intent? I'm like, yeah, if we can get the money, I'll be all ears. And then he has been helping, such as it is, with Deb and Keith, but he's not getting paid, and there's no guarantee of him getting paid. And I guess I'm a little unclear, maybe you can help me here, because the application has to go in. You don't do an RFP for a grant administrator until you get the grant award, right?
that is correct.
So all this stuff doesn't happen yet. Right now, we got someone who's volunteering, helping us. He may not, who knows, after all this, he may not even apply for the RFP position for the grant administrator, but if he does, he'll be one to consider. But there's a few other positions to be hired. These are all at $72,000. You can imagine, you spread that out over 3 or 4 people plus the Accelerate Jackson. It's a part-time job at best.
Yes.
This kind of money. So right now, all we're doing is, right now we're having a public hearing, so to discuss it, and anybody can speak, and we can hear all that. And then you're going to be working on the application. You're going to come back next month, and we'll approve it and send it in, maybe. But in the meantime, it's not like you're guaranteed anything. and you are receiving no pay or anything. You took the initiative and said, hey, there's money available and Jackson's not applying. Not only just Jackson, scores of communities across the state are not applying. If you can be the impetus to get people to apply, great, that's good.
Yes, and I know Mr. Ramsey's working closely with MISHDA as well to
Yeah.
incorporate these programs in
I
these
understand.
communities.
Yeah, but there's no guarantee that he's getting anything. Right now, he's getting nothing.
Correct.
That's,
Thank you.
sorry, that's typical with any, doing it for free at the moment is typical with all of the grant applications I have ever filed for. So I know that. You put the proposal together for free up front, and you hope you beat the competition. And when I was given the opportunity, when a client afforded me the opportunity that they wanted me to draft the proposal, oh, most definitely. I drafted it so that the wording made me the most logical selection. I didn't word it to be competitive. And so that's just human nature, that's just business. And you had said, Mike, that the 72,000 isn't enough to administer this contract?
No, and when you look at it, they're talking about hiring an inspector, grant administrator, and environmental review, and the Accelerate Jackson. That's at least 4 entities right there.
Yeah.
You divide that, and it's less than what, $20,000.
So if there's not enough money there to handle this, to administer it properly, how is PAHD going to administer this successfully? If you're telling me there's not enough money in there to administer it.
Oh,
This is not a full-time job.
yeah, and essentially, I'm essentially being underpaid, is what he's essentially saying.
Okay. All right. Next question for me. The qualified residents will be selected on a first-come, first-served basis. So if that's true, I can go out into the community in the 5 townships that I represent, and I can talk to the people that I know and say, okay, there's this opportunity coming. You be sure you're the first one in line. I can key my people, get your applications ready, get your applications in first, because this is a first come, first served basis. So I can work to make sure this is only residents in Commission District 1.
Sure.
And other commissioners can do the same thing in their districts. So the first come, first served basis, I'm totally against that. This needs to be a qualifications and it needs to be a needs basis. Who needs it the most? If I want to fix the roof on my porch because the shingles are old and very soon they're going to be leaking, and somebody else has a furnace that's not even working, and they went through this past winter with no heat, and because I get my qualification for my roof in ahead of time, I get my roof and they don't get their furnace?
So if I may, after we presented to the General Government Committee last Monday morning, we thought about that statement that we had made about first come, first serve. I mean, although we feel that that's, the quickest and the fairest, maybe, but it's not. So we had to take a step back and relook at that statement. So what we've decided to do internally, after talking to my boss, Keith Gillenwater, who's here this evening, and then Sam and I, we discussed this, we need to establish a committee to find out what the need is, the qualifications, are they income qualified, what issue are they having, what are they asking for, are they without heat? Because by golly, that is definitely takes priority over someone that has maybe a leaky roof. So
Okay, so
we've
you've
taken
already
that into consideration, sir. So you are absolutely correct. So we would like to establish a committee to
So you've
review
already
these.
decided you are not going to go on the first come, first served basis?
Yes,
Thank
that
you.
is correct. Yes, thank you.
All right, I got a few others, but I'll yield to some other people, give them some time.
Mr. Sam, go ahead, take a seat. You've been on the hot seat for a while. This question is going to be for Debbie and Keith. So this is going to be similar to what I asked in the general government meeting. I just want to make sure I'm clear because I was the commissioner that asked about how they were going to be granted, and it was first come, first serve. And I think it's a good decision that you reconsidered that answer. But I want to make sure all the other answers I got are the same going forward.
Sure.
The biggest thing to me is, like I said, is if we're going to go forward with this, and I'll be honest, from my political viewpoint, I don't really like government even getting into this, because that's the problem. Is one resident says, hey, my life's hard. I can barely afford groceries. I'm grinding every day. My roof is bad, and Johnny down the road, I think there's going to be more people with need than we have money for, quite frankly, honestly, if everybody knew. So you get into that problem. But that being said, let's just say the money comes in and we get it. I want to make sure transparency and accountability are number one importance to me on something like this, because we've seen other programs that I don't believe were on the up and up, not with the county, but other entities inside Jackson County that we weren't involved in. So when the money, if it is dispersed, who's going to receive it? Who's going to deposit it?
Jackson County, oh, sorry, can you guys hear me okay? Jackson County will be the fiduciary agent for this grant, because the grant ultimately is to Jackson County.
Okay. And then each time money is withdrawn from the account, it will be on a payment basis to a contractor. Am I correct in that?
I believe it would be to a contractor to pay them for the services that they have performed.
And
or
who
for
would
the
be
environmental
authorizing
review.
each of those ultimately?
I'm
Would
sorry,
this,
I was talking, so I
Oh.
missed what you said. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry for interrupting.
No, no worries.
Okay. Who would ultimately authorize the payments? Would it be the county administrator? Is it going to be this board? Is it going to be the committee you form?
So I guess I don't know how you guys approve payments, if that comes to the county or to the commissioners. I'm assuming it would be like you would approve any other payable. I would also assume that you would get a recommendation from our committee and the grant administrator that is chosen that says, yes, this is okay to pay because they have either performed the work or whatnot.
Mr. Overton, how will the payments be administered? Who authorizes it?
Yes, at the end of the day, the way I understand it is they're gonna have a committee that's gonna evaluate these applications, make a determination, and then when they make a determination that they believe this person is warranted, it goes to the next step. So you have your inspector look at it and all that stuff to make sure it's warranted, get a value on what they think the work's gonna cost, propose that sort of thing. And then ultimately, a contractor is gonna be engaged and do the work, and we're gonna pay them. They're gonna generate an invoice, and it's gonna come through initially the Accelerate, and then it's gonna come to the county through our payables, our process system, and everything runs through our payables.
And those documents would be available to the public should they want them.
Absolutely. Not only that, it'll be, as you know, everything that's paid comes through this county board.
And
Or
if I was able to chime in, the way I was kind of envisioned this is that through my software that I have, I'm able to submit construction drawings to banks, and it'll be essentially kind of like a construction draw, just like any bank would disperse money during a development process. And within this, I envision that we're going to attach before and after pictures of the completed work with the inspection report.
And you would submit that to the county administrator, is what you're saying, not the bank?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Corey, if I could also as well, I would say you would hit on transparency. I think it's worth noting too for Accelerate Jackson County. I don't know if you're familiar with GuideStar or I think they rebranded and they're now named Candid. It's a website that grades not-for-profits, gives a seal of transparency. We've received their gold seal of transparency, which means that not only do we submit our financial statements, we also undergo voluntary audits each year for both our 501c3 and our 501c6, and our audits are also voluntarily submitted and published on that website as well. So, we're an open book.
Just one last question for me is, it sounds like this committee, and it sounds like in the brainstorming stage of how it's going to be formed. That's important to me in how it's going to be structured, who's going to choose who's on it, who is actually on it. Because I personally think it's very important that it's neutral people. There's no special interests involved. But secondly, this question's more to Mike. Since this committee would be Accelerate Jackson and not the county, are the meetings going to be public? And are the meeting minutes going to be available to the public?
I would think that the meeting would not be public when they're evaluating applications. You're looking at people's personal financial information, and you would not want to make that public. So no,
Okay.
that they make their determination, and at least that's my take on it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't believe that you
Okay.
can review people's personal financial information at a public meeting like this.
So, other than reviewing people's financial information, applicants, what else would this committee be doing? Is that the only decision-making process it'll be doing?
Well, I would think that the committee would review similar to the way the EDC does. We have a structured review committee through the EDC that is nonpartisan and based on people who have fiduciary qualifications and are bonded and licensed that review those items. And then I would think that that meeting would be public. So when everything would come forward, there would be that committee, whichever is chosen, we call it the CDGB committee for the county, would then forward it to either general government or the first committee, the roads and public safety, and then for review at that time, and then forward it to the Board of Commissioners. So it would be seen in 3 different levels of public meetings after it had been vetted by what you call nonpartisan review committee.
Yeah, I just think it's crucial that whatever decisions are made, and it's essentially picking winners, that the public knows who it is. And I guess you can't tell them exactly why, their personal financial, but
Well,
that's
I-
kind of where you get into the weeds of,
Well, as
Why
long
does
as, as long as we're wandering that way, we do that quite regularly through the EDC when we use the revolving loan fund and select businesses that have become successful throughout Jackson County. And there've been literally millions of dollars lent over the 40 years of that program to different businesses in this community. And then the public does see where the money's actually going because it comes to the Board of Commissioners on Tuesday night. And there's a presentation and the public knows that the revolving loan fund is loaning $500,000 to an industry or to a particular company here in Jackson County.
okay, well, I don't think we're making a decision tonight at a public
No,
hearing.
that's why it's a
right?
public hearing.
So I would just ask, I guess just for myself, I think the other commissioners as well, though, if we could start developing what that plan's gonna be and how transparency is gonna be available to the public.
Sure. Okay. And we will gladly accept you as a volunteer commissioner.
I was just going to add that too.
All right. That's all I have. Thank you. And Sam, it's tough to get up in front of these guys, so I commend you for doing it.
Yeah.
Vanessa Malnick, Springport Township. Am I on a timer? Okay. So, I spent a good part of the day looking over the limited documentation that we had. This has been an enlightening few minutes hearing additional detail that was not available in the public information. Some of the questions that have been raised by the commissioners sort of blows my comments out of the water a little bit, or at least it duplicates some of them. So I appreciate the time to be here, but I'm not going to rewrite all my comments based on all of this. So I'm just going to go forward with what I have right now. So regarding the CDBG application proposal, I have the following concerns. The lateness of the request, the short notice necessitating approval by the county administrator to apply on the county's behalf. In the July 8th memo, under the portion authored by Mr. Ramsey, president of PDHA, he indicates he contacted Sheriff Hotwell, who referred him to the Enterprise Group or Accelerate Jackson, and by the time of alignment, there was only 1 day left to apply. However, the MISHDA letter dated May 19th to Debbie Kelly at Accelerate Jackson indicates that MISTA has already approved tentatively reserving those funds. So that left me with some confusion about why there was only 1 day left to apply. I think I've got clarification on that now, but I think that this information that was available to the public and available to me was not clear in that regard. So that confused me. This is a countywide grant, so as it's been mentioned, there are definitely needs in the rural townships and villages. I served on the Board of Review for a couple of years for Springport Township. I heard some of those stories. And so I suggest whoever administers this grant include the township board and village councils to determine need and share information in order for their residents to know how or know about this program and how to access it. I note in Mr. Ramsey's summary, his LLC has been in existence for only 1 year. So at this time, I do have a concern. I don't know that I see the experience and ability to manage an almost $500,000 grant. Some of the questions I have, again, some of these have been addressed, but who selects the grant recipients and what is the process? I prefer need-based rather than a first-come, first-serve basis, which has been clarified. But does give me some pause that was actually put forward and now they're reconsidering it. I would hope that would have been considered prior to even putting that information out there. Who selects the preferred contractors and how? Is it a bid process? Who vets these contractors? How do the contractors know about this project in order to apply to be a preferred contractor? Who received the grant funds, the county or profitable affordable housing, which has been clarified? Who has oversight of the spent funds and who signs the checks to the preferred contractors? Again, I think that's been clarified. And I guess a question that I have is, since the county is required to apply for the grant and it's requiring input or support from several departments, can the county administer the grant itself? Is there a need for a third-party administrator? I think I've got some clarification on that, but not certain of that either. Also, will companies be provided an opportunity to be a third-party administrator through an RFP process? And I've gotten clarification that will in fact occur. So given the factors that above and with short notice to research, I do see red flags that do not instill in confidence in the administration and management of this grant of taxpayer dollars. I think it's important to remember that grant dollars are tax dollars. And I think if nothing else, we've learned through DOGE that grants and public-private partnerships are at risk of malfeasance. So I have other things I'd rather be doing tonight too, just as many people do. But I do feel an obligation. We get the government we deserve. I do feel an obligation to be here and present some of my concerns to you, and hope that you will take that into consideration and do due diligence on the awarding of this grant. Thank you very much.
Darius.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to ask maybe one or two questions. The one question I did have, Commissioner Kennedy has already asked that, but that's why I asked this, just to make sure that we do have it on the record. We are not spending any county dollars on this, correct?
That's correct.
And then with that also being said, we're not expected to spend any match dollars of any kind in this project.
Correct.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Nothing further. Just wanted to make sure we had that on the record.
And if I may, I would just, it's a public hearing, so it's not like, public comment where people can't respond. Public hearing, we can have a dialogue. The county could administer the grant itself. Problem is, we can't, it would cost the county general fund dollars to do it, because the $72 administrative fee is not enough, $72,000, is not enough to have someone administer it, have an inspector, because we don't have inspectors like that. We don't have those departments, those type of things. So when you add those all up, it costs us money to accept a grant like that, which isn't always out of the question. In the past, when's the last time we did it? 20 years ago? I'm not sure. I've been here 14 and it hasn't been that time. But in the past, CAA Community Action Agency administered it for us for the funding. They stopped doing that a long time ago, and I won't say definitively all the reasons why, because I don't know, perhaps, but I do know the funding wasn't enough to support the actual work. Because this part of the grant is just the beginning. Over time, the old model was, it was like a loan, and you had to monitor that loan with all those transactions, and people would make payments and all kinds of stuff. So I can understand why that they changed it. It's not like that now. This is more of a gift, is basically what it is. If it's less than $10,000, it really is a gift. If it's over that, they got a lien on their property if they were to sell it within 5 years, I believe. But otherwise, it is a gift. And so the administrative cost is all up front. Once the project, the roof, the furnace, whatever's in and done, it's done. There's no more administrative cost. But that's why we don't do it, and that's why most counties don't do it, is because they don't have a department to really function that way. What happens is, generally speaking, with community development block grants, is you'll see the cities. That's why the city has their own and things like that, because they have the staff for that.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My view, I guess, is I'm prepared to stipulate that I think Sam is relatively inexperienced at this sort of thing. But he does seem to have a great deal of energy about it and passion. And I think the risks of his inexperience are mitigated by the fact that he'll be working with Accelerate Jackson, and I think I heard Toby Berry's name in there somewhere, and CAA has done, if they don't do it now, they have done in the past a lot of work of this nature. So I realize that this young fellow is inexperienced, but I think the risk to us is relatively minor, and I'm prepared to support the project when the time comes, so long as Accelerate Jackson and/or CAA are engaged as it appears they will be. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
James Minnick. I'd like to say a couple of things and then tie this quick back. The MLK is almost going through that same problem where it's giving out monies to businesses and there's a lot of community development, but the homeowners themselves are saying, well, what about me? I need new siding. I need a new furnace. I need a new roof. And I've been trying to seed in some of the people who are on that board's mind that have access to the money that maybe it's time that they set a little bit of that money aside and we go after some low income easy fixes for 15 grand, and $500,000 at that would go very far. Now in a county of 160,000 people, when you can't put the money into the city, guys, $500,000 is a drop in the bucket. So lining up people to get these services is almost, it's not even going to be worth it. We probably even need to come up with a lottery system, but even everybody getting 10 grand is only 40 homes. I think this is a great idea. I think those 40 people or even 10 at 40,000 it's better than nothing. I hate the grant process. I hate how money is funneled down, but it is the way it is. I heard a great sentence from Sam where he said that the community block grant paperwork is 300 pages, and I have studied it, and I know how to do it. And I trust him. And if that's true, it's easy for him. A lot of you already know me, and you know that I work on campaigns, and I do it for free. I know how to write a statement of organizations, affidavit of identity. I know how to set up your funding. I know how to run campaigns, set up booths. I know how to read demographs. I know how to get walking lists. And I do it for free. I do it because I love it. I love to show people how good I am, and I'm building experience. But my peers around me make a lot of money doing that for money. I would love to have a business that makes money doing what I love to do. I think Sam is coming in, had a great idea, made something work somewhere else, and says, you know what, I can copycat this, and I can do it everywhere and anywhere. It was said at the study session that he reached out to many counties and asked them if they were willing to do it, and the ones that did, he met with and seen if there was a path. I'm going to end it there because again, he really impressed me when he said, "Look, I read the paperwork. I know how to do this, Tony. It's not that. I mean, that's what I do." So anyway, if I was sitting on the board, I would approve it.
Hi, I'm Jeannie. Most of you know me. So I just had a question about if these committees or people that you hire, the 72,000 for the 4 people that you hire, are they going to be contract workers? If so, what if the contract is breached, as in the County Commission Board just officially terminated Director Arturo Pinkerton, who was appointed for the Housing Commission, and we still have to pay his contract until that's done. So that's extra money going out, and he's not even working for us anymore. So if you contracted, I don't know if they're gonna be contracted workers or if they're just gonna apply for the job, and if it doesn't work out, they're fired and somebody else takes their spot. But it's just a question. Thank you.
Not there. We're still in the public hearing.
Good evening, John Wilson, 1045 South Durant Street. Sam Ramsey. Where'd Sam go? Okay, all right. Fine young man, a lot of energy, intelligent. He should direct and focus that energy on private sector entrepreneurship rather than public sector entrepreneurship. And Mr. Ramsey is listed, and I'm confused here. Mr. Ramsey is listed in the July 8th memo to Chair of the General Government Committee, Mr. Duckham, as the CDBG Administrator. So is he the CDBG Administrator? Okay. Yeah. Red flag. Deb Kelly, Vice President of the Enterprise Group, Accelerate Jackson, is listed as the CDBG liaison on behalf of Jackson County. Is she? So she is the county's CDBG liaison. Is that a paid position? Paid by Accelerate Jackson. Okay, so she's not an employee with Jackson County. So she volunteers this. Did she give herself that own title, or was it given? How did she receive that title? Who did? Okay. Well, is he county? You're a quasi-public organization.
We're a 501c3.
Yeah.
And a 501c3.
Enterprise Group, which does not open its meetings to the general public. Is that correct?
We are a 501c3 organization.
That's correct.
And a 501c6.
Commissioner Plesky, if I remember correctly, were you the director, CEO of the Michigan State Housing Development Authority?
For 2 years, yes.
Yes, you were.
2017, 2019.
Are you advising Accelerate Jackson or Mr. Ramsey or Mr. Overton, Mr. Shotwell, or any of the county commissioners on this issue?
My sole involvement has been as a county commissioner, period.
Okay, so you have not advised anyone in regards to Michigan State Housing Development Authority procedures or anything on this grant application then, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Mr. Ramsey has 3 different LLCs. Number 1, Profitable Affordable Housing Development LLC, which has a Jackson address, 4562 Two-Door Lane, Jackson, Michigan. He has an office address of 133 West Michigan, which is the Lean Rocket Lab. Does Mr. Ramsey currently have a cubicle office space at Lean Rocket Lab? At Lean Rocket Lab?
Yeah, it's not a cubicle, it's just like the shared space, shared office space.
Okay, I went through there and there's 10 office spaces there and I didn't see.
It's not a cubicle, they offer another membership where you're just kind of sitting down at the board table and also be.
Yeah, so you, every now and then just maybe use their conference room?
Yeah, yep.
So, but is that your office address? 133 West Michigan?
Yes. That's what's registered on the state of Michigan, yes.
Okay. Number 2 LLC, Drop Down LLC, with an office mailing address at 4562 Tudor Lane, Jackson. Can Mr. Ramsey explain what this LLC does?
Yes, that refers to my project with DDEHC. As I said, I worked with before.
Who's that? Who's that?
Where I said about MAC, DDEHC.
What's does anyone know what DDEHC is?
Yeah, it's a development company in Flint that I also announced that I have the 37 rural development with Genesee County, Uptown, and their company.
Okay, so that LLC is working with that project.
No, it was for a project for Memphis, as I said. It was for a entertainment complex in Memphis, Michigan, 2 blocks away from the Memphis Grizzlies Stadium.
Okay.
We just use that, as it says, drop down LLC to buy the land.
Okay, another LLC in your name is Armin Enterprise LLC with also an address at 133 West Michigan, which is Lean Rocket Lab, and also at 504 Wildwood Avenue, Apartment D, Jackson. What is Armin Enterprise? What's the purpose of that?
That one was for when I used to work with buying companies, essentially.
Buying companies.
Yeah, yep. So where essentially I had to merge that into, I had to merge a company into that LLC.
All right.
For the bank.
You were out in the hallway, but I commended you for your spirit and your entrepreneurship. But I, as a taxpayer, would rather have that entrepreneurship directed towards the private sector.
Yeah.
You would do very well.
And I would like to also mention that if you look at, as you was looking at the state filings, the state filings also show that both those LLCs are inactive LLCs according to the state of Michigan, because I do not operate those companies.
Okay, thanks. The Community Action Agency does offer, and we already know this, it's been spoken on, does offer financial assistance for home repairs, including roof repairs and furnace repairs, paid for by grants or zero interest forgivable loans. So CAA is funded by the federal, state, and local government, including community development block grants and community service block grants. If they don't want to do, well, apparently they're going to partner. We have 3 different partners here. We have the county, we have the enterprise group, and we have Mr. Ramsey. Even though the county says it's not going to spend any of their money with this, I don't see how. Apparently they're going to administer the checking account, so that costs money. So anyways, if the CAA already collects government money for this for the purpose of home repairs for low income, then why do we need this overlap? Why do we need this duplication of services? Enterprise Group, their core mission is to promote and coordinate economic development and initiates and creates wealth within Jackson County. Instead, this new Enterprise Group initiative, which is now getting into the low-income home repair business, is a redistribution of wealth by expanding its mission to now include this social welfare program. What's next with them? When all we hear from our elected officials is that there is no money for a jail, road patrol, and county roads, yet there's $472,000 grant available to contract out to Mr. Ramsey and the EG.
Can we use that money, John, for roads? Can we use that $472,000 for roads? Can we use it for the sheriff's department?
No, but why don't you
And why would you, then why would you point it out, sir? Because we're not
Well, you just pointed
trying
that
to use
out.
that money.
Have you applied for any grants for the
Yes,
jail?
sir.
For the jail?
Yes, sir.
Have you? Have
Yes,
you
we
received
have.
any, or have they been denied?
And we have been denied 3 times, sir.
3 times. Why do other counties get approved?
I don't know.
Maybe we should have Mr. Ramsey in charge of filling out the grants for the jail. I bet.
Maybe you should help fill one out, John.
Okay, let's move on. So anyways, and you've already went back on the first come, first serve. Another red flag. So anyways, here we are. $37 trillion in debt at the federal level. And the excuse is, if we don't use this money, somebody else will. That's a sorry excuse. You're right. Somebody else probably would use this money. But why don't you get this $472,000 to CAA and tell them either they're going to do their job or you're going to defund what money goes into that CAA presently? Because that is one of their core missions, is already to help the low-income housing needs. Did they not do that 20 years ago? Then why can't they do that today? Instead, no, you have to expand the services of the enterprise group, Accelerate Jackson, which both of you sit on their boards. So maybe you should probably recuse yourself from this vote, Commissioner Shotwell, when it comes in front of the board, since you do sit on that board. My father once told me, Johnny, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. So I guess I won't say anything more.
Too bad you don't listen to him.
I did.
Any other during the public hearing? Commissioner Bear.
I had come here tonight with the intent of voting no on this. I may be convinced to vote yes if you can tell me something. This is not a project that the taxpayers should pay for. And this project will require collaboration with several county departments, including legal, administration, treasurer, and to assure me, and hopefully the public present, that tax dollars, the dollars these people pay, is not going to go to this project. I need you to tell me, how are you going to keep track of the hours that the administrator, our attorney, our treasurer, everybody else that is going to be expected to assist with this project, the hours they spend assisting with this needs to come out of that $74,000 administrative fee, not from tax dollars. So if you want me to vote for this, tell me, how are you going to keep records? How am I going to have access to these records that every hour our treasurer, our attorney, our administrator spends is tracked separately, and that the $72,000 administrative fee pays those hours for those people? That's the only way it will be funded by this grant and not funded by our taxpayers. So if you can tell me how you're going to do that and make it accountable, make it accessible to me, then I'll vote for it.
Sure. What you're talking about here is opportunity cost, not hard dollar cost. This is a de minimis use of our time. And the people you're describing are people like me. I get paid whether I work or not. I'm salary. I work way more than 40 hours a week at all
I
hours
always
of the
did.
day. So the truth be told, there are no additional dollar costs. When you think about our payroll, or not payroll, but payables, our accounts payable, it's a check and a line. So the only costs that I can think of that are out-of-pocket costs, actual costs, we might pay a penny per check that we issue. I'm not sure what the cost is, but it's very small because we issue thousands of checks a year. So the cost is very de minimis and at best an opportunity cost, meaning I could be doing something else. However, the truth be told, there's no limit on all the things I do. So if it's 8 o'clock at night and I take a call from you or someone else, that's work for me. That's me working. I don't get paid extra for that. And all of this is that. It's de minimis cost. There are no hard dollar costs on this for us. None.
I'm saying there should be. And if our attorney is used,
Well,
our attorney's going to send us an invoice.
if we pay an attorney, that's a different deal, but I don't plan to pay an attorney. You know, they have costs where they're going to be doing that, and they may very well need an attorney, but we don't need an attorney for this.
Well, I know you're on a salary, and our treasurer's on a salary, and other people are on
Finance
salaries.
director's on a salary. I mean,
And, yes, I know who's on, I have
It's
a
a
good
check.
idea of who's on salary. And if you're not going to keep track of the hours they spend on this project and somehow get a matching fund from this grant paid to the county to put into our general fund, if we're not going to track it, then why should any of us have confidence in when the statement is made, no county dollars are going to be put into this?
the answer to that is we will have spent more time tonight on this than I expect to put into it going forward. By the time we're done with this conversation, there won't be hours of inputting a check. Their committee will review the applications, they will make a selection, they will send it to us, and we will type in a payable. It's that simple. It's not hours of anything on this. If we were to hire legal, that's different. We don't have legal on staff. We would have to pay them hourly rate. But I don't anticipate that at all. They may need to hire legal, but we do not need to hire legal. So again, I stand by my earlier statement that any cost to us is an opportunity cost or very de minimis, like in the cost of a check. We buy them by the case, but a check is a check.
Any further comments under this public hearing? Commissioner Duckham.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. After doing all this listening, we've done this before. You're right, Steve. We've done it before. Most commissioners probably weren't here when we did it before. And it's just, this is a new arrangement with a different sector of groups that is going to handle this as Community Action Agency before. Now it's going to go through Accelerate Jackson, and we have done this before. I too was going to vote no. I'm up in the air on it now, but we've done it before, so I'm okay with it. Thank you.
If I may, to be, for clarity, we aren't voting on anything tonight. We're having a public hearing, taking everybody's comments, all that stuff, letting everybody vent and talk about it. And then we'll come back in August, I'm not sure the date off the top of my head, with the completed application for the board to consider to send in. If you choose not to send it in, I mean, it's for naught. I mean, no harm other than an hour we won't get back of our life.
Okay, I entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Support.
I have a motion and support. Any comments to the motion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Duly carried. We've arrived at public comment. Public comment. Each individual will state their name and have 3 minutes to address the board. You may only address the board once under this public comment opportunity and may not yield your time to others. Board members will not debate nor answer questions at this time.
Good evening, Rosemary Tanner. The information that I gave you earlier before the meeting started, I'd like to have you please look at it. This is related to the initiative. I'm here tonight representing the Jackson Patriot Alliance Michigan Fair Elections and Pure Integrity Michigan Elections. They have all joined forces to bring to the attention education related to the citizens, for the citizens of Jackson County to speak up and out against ranked choice voting. This is going to rear its ugly head coming soon. I don't know whether you know about it or not, but the information I gave you is just the beginning. So we have formed a campaign called Decline to Sign. The Board of Canvassers okayed for an outside agency for dark money to come into Michigan to screw up our elections, basically. You thought elections were bad before. You have no idea what's in store if we pass this initiative. So I am the coordinator for Jackson County. We'll be out and I will be speaking with each one of you individually to make sure that you review the resolution that I have presented to you. It's imperative that we start getting this out and get the information to the people so that they understand what ranked choice voting is. So, of course, the board is responsible for the governance, which is elections. And as you well know, it's going to cost a lot of money if this passes through the state of Michigan. So I just wanted to bring this to your attention, and it's only the beginning. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Amador Ibarra. I live in Summit Township. I have serious concern over the law enforcement officer training held at Jackson College on June 27, 2025, which featured materials developed and presented by Lieutenant Colonel Dave Grossman. Let me be clear. This training was previously referred to as Killology, his title for it, not mine. Let me be clear. This kind of warrior-style training has no place in our local law enforcement culture. Grossman's teachings, which frame police work as a form of combat and officers as soldiers in war, in a war zone, promote a dangerous mindset, one that puts both the public and officers at a greater risk. Grossman has been recorded calling the act of killing fun and speaking about the addictive rush that comes with using lethal force. This is not psychology. This is militarized propaganda disguised as public safety training. And it fundamentally contradicts the role of law enforcement in a constitutional democracy. At a time when we are striving to rebuild trust between law enforcement and the community, especially in marginalized neighborhoods, hosting this kind of training at an institution like Jackson College sends the wrong message. It tells our residents that we are preparing our officers for war, not for peacekeeping. This is not just philosophical. Studies show that officers exposed to Grossman-style training are more likely to adopt an us versus them mentality. That kind of culture leads to increased use of force incidents, public mistrust, and even civil rights violations. States like Minnesota have banned this training entirely after it was linked to tragic and avoidable outcomes. So I ask, why would we bring this into our community? Who approved this curriculum? Who decided that this is the best way to prepare officers who are supposed to serve and protect us? Our law enforcement officers deserve better. They deserve training that emphasizes de-escalation, empathy, mental health response, and community partnership. Our communities deserve better too. They deserve officers who are equipped not with a combat mindset, but with the tools to resolve conflict peacefully and constitutionally. We must reject the glorification of violence and choose a path forward that aligns with our values and our shared future. I believe that we shouldn't train our local law enforcement officers that it's okay to kill somebody. Thank you.
John Wilson, 1045 South Durant Street, Jackson. Commissioner Duckham, you're right. Jackson County did perform that service 20 years ago. And that was through the Community Action Agency, which is publicly funded. The difference now is we've got this quasi-government organization that will be administering this program along with Mr. Overton. We give the enterprise group, which you've all voted for, $100,000 annually, correct? What do you think, Tony? You think any of that money is going to go towards part of this, administering this program? That's county tax dollars. So hopefully you're not, you know, on the edge there like Phil was. He was kind of a hard no, but I guess not anymore. I don't know what sold you, Phil. So, anyways, just consider that. Community Action Agency is already publicly funded. Now we're just going to duplicate this service so the CAA does not have to do it anymore, even though they're still being fully funded to do such services. But instead, we have to branch out, and since the enterprise group would like to spread their wings and now call themselves housing development experts and so forth, you know, going forward, since, you know, we have this so-called housing crisis with CEOs coming to town. Well, I don't think those CEOs are going to be any part of this program to apply for leaky roofs or a new furnace or air conditioning for grandma. So anyways, it's a slam dunk. It's going to be voted on. You all vote for it. There's no doubt about it. And I'm sure Mr. Pileski is doing what he has to advise everything. And with the Michigan State Housing Development Authority, he's an expert. He's an expert. Why wouldn't you use his services? Why would you not? But apparently, they don't need you, Mr. Pileski, since you've said that you're not advising them in any way on this application process, so, which is well and fine, but if you did, that's well and fine also. All right, thank you.
Good evening, Russ Jennings, Leone Township trustee. As you may or may not know, the State House approved a local road funding package without raising taxes or fees. The State Senate has refused to take it up. Even with pressure from Governor Whitmer, who wants to fix the damn roads, the State Senate has refused to take it up and went on break. I read a article earlier today, where State Senator Sue Shink is in district because they went on break, and she's been talking to constituents, and she says the main concern with constituents that she hears from her constituents is worried about federal cuts to medical, SNAP benefits, things like that. She also mentioned federal employees are in fear of losing their jobs. I call BS. Every one of you are elected officials. I am. What's the number one thing you hear? The roads, the roads, the local roads, the local roads. It's constant. It's all I hear. we're stuck. You guys know the frustration of the township. You know, everybody's looking at us, we're looking at the county. We do this back and forth. My suggestion is everybody in this room needs to contact Senator Sue Schenck and say, you have to take up a local road funding initiative. You have to take this up. This is what's killing the state. We can fix poor people's homes and think of economic development all we want. We're not going to get anywhere until this is done. We need that effort. We got to make clear to our state senators that this is the primary thing that our constituents are talking about. So I encourage everybody to reach out to their state senator. Most of us are represented by Sue Schenck. 4 townships in Jackson County are represented by Senator Lindsay. He's prepared to take this up. I suggest approving the House version, but that's my encouragement to everybody that's in the room today. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Any other public comment? Public comment is now closed. The current Board of Commissioners will stand in abeyance while a special meeting of the Standing Committee of Public Safety and Transportation, chaired by Vice Chairman Corey Kennedy. Commissioner Kennedy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Tonight we have one item on this special meeting. That would be the Sheriff Grass Lake School Deputy. I believe under Sheriff Barnett and Captain Hiller are both here. I don't know who's presenting. Oh.
Hello, good evening. Under Sheriff Jeremy Barnett, Jackson County Sheriff's Department. I'm here to propose and seek approval for a contract between Jackson County and the Grass Lake School District to add a school resource deputy for Grass Lake schools. The contract, as written, is a 1-year with an option for a second. We currently have 3 SRDs, or school resource deputies, in Jackson schools, Northwest, Vandercook, and Western. This contract, we used those 3 contracts as the template to draw the 4th one, I suppose, with Grass Lake, both from the financials and the duty responsibilities. We're very excited at the idea of adding another school resource deputy in Grass Lake to ensure school safety. The contract is a 10-month contract, and the contract is defined as the school year. Obviously, 10 months doesn't pay for 1 full deputy, which is what this contract calls for. We are in a position where the secondary road patrol funds will pick up the other 2 months of the contract, so therefore it doesn't cost any extra money to Jackson County. So between the 10 months of the Grass Lake School District paying for the contract and then the 2 months in the summer, that deputy would be placed in the secondary road patrol. It'd be cost neutral and in line with the other 3 contracts we have. I'd be happy to take any questions you have.
Committee members, do we have any questions? If no, committee, Commissioner Bear.
I'll read exactly what the motion's here. I move to approve law enforcement school resource deputy services contract for Grass Lake schools.
Okay, we have a motion and support. This is to forward it to the full board, just for clarification. We'll do a roll call vote if we could. Madam Clerk?
Trying to recall who's on your committee at this time. We have, thank you, Commissioner Bear,
Yes.
Commissioner Walls,
Yes.
Commissioner Williams,
Yes.
and Chairman Kennedy.
You have one more.
Oh, my
Commissioner
apologies.
Duckham.
Commissioner Duckham.
Yes.
Thank you. And now Chairman.
And I'm a yes.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Okay, so that's forward to the full board with recommendation of approval, Mr. Chair.
Entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the June 17th, 2025 meeting.
So moved.
Support.
We have a motion and support. Questions? Comments? Seeing or hearing none. Commissioners, all in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Duly carried. We've arrived at the consent calendar. Entertain a motion for the consent calendar.
So moved.
I have a motion and support. Kennedy and Williams. Items for removal. Commissioner Bear.
I would like to add to the consent agenda, item 9, public safety and transportation, the approval of the sheriff's school resource deputy that was just forwarded by the Public Safety and Transportation Committee. I'd like to add that to the consent.
We have a motion. Do we have support for the addition to the consent calendar? Supported by Snell. So with the consent calendar as amended, are you ready, Madam Clerk? Yes, ma'am.
I did not catch who supported that.
Snell supported, Beard motioned.
I am ready for a vote.
Please post.
It is posted. Passes unanimously.
Thank you, Commissioner Bear, for your expediency. We have no items under the standing committee. We have, what's that?
Main motion is to approve.
Oh, I apologize. Yes, I would.
That is posted. Passes unanimously.
Thank you. We've arrived at standing committee items. Seeing there are none, in the name of expediency, I'm going to move to unfinished business. Any to come before the board? Hearing none. Any new business to come before the board? Hearing none. We've arrived at the second opportunity for public comment. Public comment guidelines, each individual will state their name and will have 2 minutes to address the board. You may only address the board once under this public comment opportunity and may not yield your time to others. Board members will not debate or answer questions at this time. Any second public comment? Any second public comment? Second public comment is now closed. We've arrived at commissioner comments. Any commissioner comments? Seeing none at this time, we're going to be going into closed session. Due to a Supreme Court decision, I need to anticipate a motion and a second for each one of these items after I read them. In accordance with MCL 15.268E to discuss pending litigation, Schippelman versus Reed.
So moved.
Moved by Kennedy, who supports? Baird supports. Could you call the roll, Madam Clerk?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Commissioner Walls. Yes. Commissioner Kennedy.
Yes.
Commissioner Duckham.
Yes.
Commissioner Plesky.
Yes.
Commissioner Williams.
Yes.
Commissioner Snell.
Yes.
Commissioner Bear.
Yes.
Chairman Shotwell.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. In accordance with MCL 15268C, a collective bargaining agreement, negotiations will be discussed.
So moved.
Support.
I have a motion from Walls, support from Duckham. Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Kennedy.
Yes.
Commissioner Duckham.
Yes.
Commissioner Pulaski.
Yes.
Commissioner Williams.
Yes.
Commissioner Snell.
Yes.
Commissioner Bear.
Yes.
Commissioner Walls.
Yes.
Chairman Shotwell.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. This one's yours, Phil.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I'd like to request to go into closed session to discuss personnel evaluation.
We have a motion.
Support.
I have support.
Would you restate the motion, please?
In accordance with MCL 15268A, a personnel evaluation will be considered as read into the record by Commissioner Duckham. You ready? Madam Clerk will call the roll.
I'm still not clear on that.
We're going to
20
talk about
C.
Mike Overton's evaluation.
We're approving just to go into closed session.
That's correct. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Commissioner Duckham,
Yes.
Commissioner Pulaski,
Yes?
Commissioner Williams,
Yes.
Commissioner Snell,
Yes.
Commissioner Bear,
Yes.
Commissioner Walls,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
and Chairman Shotwell.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Aye.
Entertain a motion in accordance with the discussion on the pending litigation between Chipperman and Reed. The recommendation is ratify, oops, wrong one. The recommend, what the, lawyer recommended.
Support.
We have a motion and support.
Commissioner Pileski?
Yes.
Commissioner Willis?
Yes.
Oh, Williams. Williams, I have you. Snell, Commissioner Snell.
Yes.
Commissioner Bear?
Yes.
Commissioner Walls?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Duckham?
Yes.
And Chairman Shotwell?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Entertain a motion for collective bargaining agreement negotiation to ratify the tentative agreement reached
So moved.
with POAM 911 for the new collective bargaining agreement for a period of July 2023-25 through December 31st, 2027, and authorize the board chair to sign the successor collective bargaining agreements upon approval has to form by the county's legal counsel. I have a motion from Commissioner Bear, supported by Commissioner Snell. Madam Clerk, could you call the roll?
Yes. Commissioner Williams?
Yes.
Commissioner Snell?
Yes.
Commissioner Bear?
Yes.
Commissioner Walls?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Duckham?
Yes.
Commissioner Pileski?
Yes.
Chairman Shotwell?
Yes.
Motion passes.
The floor yields the microphone to Commissioner Duckham to make a motion for item C, personnel evaluation to be considered.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. After a committee review of Mike Overton's performance, I'd like to make a motion to compensate his pay increase to 5%.
We have a motion and support.
Who supported that, please?
Commissioner Snell.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, could you call the roll?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Commissioner Snell?
Yes.
Commissioner Bear?
No.
Commissioner Walls?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
No.
Commissioner Duckham?
Yes.
Commissioner Pileski?
Yes.
Commissioner Williams?
No.
Chairman Shotwell?
Yes. 5-3.
5-3.
Motion passes. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We have a motion and support. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Duly